Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is a game with a lot of tracks, and the game before is Mario Kart 7. So I ranked every single Mario Kart 7 track which is in 8 Deluxe, including the retros. Here's how it works. I have all of Mario Kart 7's tracks, including its retros, which are in 8 Deluxe. Now I will be ranking the 8 Deluxe version of these tracks, starting from the D tier all the way to S. So let's start the D tier with, you guessed it, Toad Circuit. Now, don't get me wrong, every Mario Kart 7 track in this game doesn't bother me, as in I wouldn't mind playing it. And I know this is controversial, but I don't even mind playing Toad Circuit. Now I know it's at a D tier, but hear me out. So the Booster Course Pass took its visuals straight from Tour. And as we know, Tour has a very cartoony style, but I actually like this style. Now I'm putting Toad Circuit here since there really isn't anything. The grass is a single color. It's basically a reimagined figure 8, which makes me glad this spot is a DS figure 8 circuit.
Wait a minute. I would get that you'd maybe not prefer to play on this map, but it's not a D tier map. I had this discussion with a lot of my friends as well, but Mario Kart is a racing game, meaning that the tracks that are actually made for racing should be a big part of it. Sure, it's not as exciting as the other tracks, but this is a track added in the first wave of the Booster Course Pass. Every first cup must have at least a standard circuit, and with that being said, I want it to be at least moved up to C tier, because now you're just disrespecting the grind.
Alright, you have a point. It is still fun, but it is kind of boring in layout, and there isn't really much to it. If anything, this is more of a high D tier, and could have been a C tier if there was a bit more to it. Anyways, with that done, let us go to the C tier. Now, the first track in the C tier is Airship Fortress. Just kidding, we don't actually have any tracks in the C tier. And guys, I swear Airship isn't a C tier, it's more of an A tier. Okay, I'm getting too off topic, let's go to the B tier. So this may be a bit of a less controversial opinion, but I put Rock Mountain in here, or Alpine Pass I guess because regions can't decide on one name. You know what, let's make this simple for us, Alpine Mountain. This used to be a pretty forgetful course in Mario Kart 7, but it felt so epic. You go into a glider where you can go all the way to the floor with high amounts of speed, or stay in the air to relieve yourself, then immediately after is another glider, which once again you can do the same thing. Then we go up this steep hill with rocks to avoid, and then take another glider. You know, I'm surprised this isn't the track which introduces gliders. It would have been the DK Summit of Mario Kart 7. But here's the thing, gliders control way more differently for the worse in 8 Deluxe. In 7, if you put your joystick up, you would get lots of speed and descend to the ground, and putting the joystick down would make you float. In MK7, the glider was very free. However, in 8 Deluxe, it feels much more limited than in Mario Kart 7. If you hold your joystick up, you don't get as much speed, and putting it up still pushes you down a bit. However, I don't mind the visuals, okay? Yes, you can go to my house, but I do not mind them. Also, this is anti-gravity, but it basically has to be because of this video. Credits to Mero. Anyways, let's go to the next track after this round of controls in 8 Deluxe. Now the next track is surprisingly, Piranha Plant Cove. Oh wait, wrong game. Oh, I meant Slide. Now I like the name Pikeway more, but Slide is more simple. Anyways, now this placement may be a bit controversial, and I used to enjoy this track more. Not to say it's bad now, it's only okay. This is based after the original Super Mario Bros. Games, which it does a pretty good job at that. But that's basically it. I like how it looks and the music a bit more in 7. But that's it. I wouldn't mind playing this track, but anyways. Let's go to the next track. So, Eo Koopa City. This is kind of boring, and no guys, it isn't because of a skill issue. I can actually do this part without falling. Now I don't mind this track, but I feel like there's just nothing to it. Like there's a cave kind of thing, this xylophone part, turns, and that's it. Anyways, now let's go to the A tier. These will be tracks which I would like to play, and wouldn't mind that much. So DK Jungle. This is a track I didn't really like back then, but it has grown on me a lot. Now this is a representation of the DK Country series, and it does that pretty well. And the music definitely pulls this track up a lot. Now I wish this track was a bit longer, but that doesn't mean it's bad. If it was, then no joke. This could have been in the S tier. It turned from a forgetful track in 7 to one of 2 most underrated in 8. Anyways, let's go to the next track, which may be controversial. Waluigi Pinball. Wait, the track I named my Discord after isn't an S tier. Speaking of my Discord, go and join it. It's a chill place to relax, and I post video teasers there. Anyways, I'm getting off topic. Now Waluigi Pinball is the perfect example of when visuals distract you from gameplay. Now it is overrated, but it isn't bad. It just feels like moving and barely spending time on the actual pinball, and it's way too long. And boring. If there was more to it, it would have been higher. But you know, an amazing course, which got very heavily downgraded, even from Mario Kart Tour's version, well, you're looking at it right now, Coconut Mall. Now before, I didn't mind this course in 8 Deluxe. I find it cool that you go on the escalators and the pots and that. Now it still is kind of fun, but you know what made this from an S tier to a lower tier in 5 seconds? Well, the Tour version. Basically, for some reason, 8 Deluxe's version of Coconut Mall used a different version and didn't take it straight from Tour. And I wish they did. In Tour the cars are moving, it looks better visually, and you even go on the beach. Imagine if it worked like a city course, and we get to go on the beach for Coconut Mall. After I thought of this, my expectation bar dropped a lot. This is never happening, but I wish they just ported it straight from Tour right now. Now this was a pretty long rant, so let's make this more neon with our next course being Sin's Rainbow Road. Okay, this will be the point where you guys think I'm crazy. I imagine you guys right now saying,
This is Rainbow Road above Coconut Mall, Waluigi Pinball, and Kart the Plant Slideway.
And if you guys can't really tell now, I enjoy Sin's Rainbow Road much more than N64 Rainbow Road. It looks way better music, better environment, and this is also very extremely fun. Now on the original, you'd also have to get skill for it to be fun. But no matter what, this track is always fun on 8 Deluxe. If it was longer or was something like the remix Rainbow Roads in Mario Kart Tour, it might have been way higher. Even more than Calamari Dessert. Guys, was that transition smooth? Please tell me. Anyways, Calamari Dessert. Now in Mario Kart 64 and 7, these were very forgettable tracks. It was basically just an oval and waiting 9 years for the train to pass, but when it got in Tour, they were two variants, Calamari Dessert 1 and 2. So what did 8 Deluxe do? Well, at first it seems boring, but then you see these arrows, and on the second lap, you actually go on the tracks. This is a very unique gimmick, but this ramp before it is very unnecessary. More or less you probably just hit the train when you land cause of the trick boost. Anyways, that was all of the A tier. So now we're getting in the S tier. These are tracks I'd 100% want to play, and have very few flaws in them. So let's bounce to the S tier with Mushroom Gorge. Now this is a track which has stayed a fan favorite, unlike a certain mall named after something you eat on trees. At first it may seem simple, but it's very unique. This track introduced these mushroom pads, in where you either jump in the air or trick off the edge. And these physics go crazy on 8 Deluxe, especially the super jump. And we cannot forget about the gap jump at all, which makes this track just the better. Now sure, the music barely changed, but it has always been a banger. You know, imagine if we could bounce from this track all the way to Rainbow Road. Oh hey look, it's another controversial opinion. I know you guys are going, now there is two tracks better than Blue Road. I mean Rainbow ROAD. Now don't get me wrong, this track is very cool, Saturn's rings, the moon, the glider, but it just kind of felt empty for me after. It is very easy, especially for a Rainbow Road. In fact, the next two courses are harder than this. Now the song in this is a banger, but you know what else is literally speaking, a banger? Music Motorways. Now this is the actual definition of a banger, not song-wise but also literally. You go on pianos, xylophones, a glider with these music notes which for some reason their name still hasn't been decided, but it's so good of a course, you can take the wide path here. Piranha plants to dodge, and it is very chaotic, especially these two turns onto 100cc. And the fact that these bouncing notes go in sync to the music is amazing. Even the environment and music is all amazing, 100% a step up from the original. So if I'm talking so good about this track, how is it not number one? Well, Maple, Treeway, to legendary words. Well, they aren't that legendary, but you get the point. Now when it came to the Koopa Cape versus Maple Treeway debate, I've always been on Koopa Cape's side. Now I still am, but this course is almost just as amazing. In Wii I liked this course because of how it looked. The autumn visuals and the wigglers were also pretty cool, especially the autumn visuals. I normally love autumn in games cause they look so beautiful, and we have a shortcut right at the beginning and the bridge. Now when this course came to Tour and 7 and 8 Deluxe, it was replaced with a glider, but the second I saw Maple Treeway in the Wave 3 trailer, I was amazed. First of all, the logs are so decorated. This is probably the second best looking course in Wave 3 and the best looking Wii course besides Waluigi Stadium, and this course brought back something legendary. Why? Half-pipes. These were a thing in Wii where you trick off them and go in the air, but they disappeared in 7, and they finally returned here. And the music is actually amazing, especially this part. It literally gives me chills on how calm and smooth it is. To be honest, the only problem I have is that in the Wiggler part, the leaves look slightly better on Wii since there's more details, and even the course icon looks good. Now I'll pop a screenshot of something else I would have done with it. But this track icon is also good. I noticed that Nintendo normally puts the most famous parts in the track icons, such as the half-pipes in DK Summit Cross and Waluigi Stadium, so this track is 100% a step up from the original. And that is not a doubt. Now let me pass over to World Love Gaming.
Alright, yeah, I do agree with you on this. Maple Treeway is one of the best tracks in Mario Kart Deluxe in my opinion. In fact, I used to be the 11th best player worldwide on 200cc on this track a few days after launch. The graphics look very nice, especially compared to those of the Tour version, apart from the top of the tree. That looks even better in Mario Kart 7. It's the longest track in the entire series, but it doesn't even feel boring, which is good. They removed the star from the leaf piles, but that makes sense as it would be too overpowered. They also made the tree branch sections way easier to navigate, which is very nice for new players. The inclusion of half-pipes is very nice too. And of course, the music is great. And it didn't ever get annoying during the 3 hours that I kept grinding this track to get 10th on the leaderboard to no avail. That being said, the item box locations could have been way better. For some reason, Nintendo decided to place 3 sets of single item boxes spread out over the second half of the track. thus being at the half-pipe, at the ramp exiting the big tree, and at the passages in between the trees. Nintendo would have been better off placing double item boxes at the half-pipe, with single item boxes at the inside of that turn, coins at the ramp exiting the tree, and putting an item set in front of the glider. Besides that, however, it's very much a good track.
Anyways, that was the video. This is probably my biggest video in both ways. Let me know if I should do more of these types of videos in the comments. Also, don't worry. In the pinned comment once more, 3D's tracks come in the booster course pass. I'll place where I think they will go. So anyways, that was the video, and go play Mario Kart.